that the?
I guess how Chris said that they're different styles. That's why you don't want to announce it. I mean, how different do you feel they are?
I think they provide different challenges for a defense. Certainly, they've just shown different styles that they've played in the past. They show different skill sets. In the end, it's all about accurately delivering the ball and having pocket presence and a certain amount of mobility in the pocket and all those basic things that go with playing quarterback. But just physically and in terms of what they've done in their past, they are all kind of a little bit different. I think they bring a really good element to our offense. And as we get going here in the next week, things will obviously clear up quickly. But I do think that they are three somewhat different guys.
Knowing you for as long as we have, taking you that you're pick one quarterback and stick with them, give them a leash and go with them. But if you do play with two, what kind of advantage would that be to play in both in the opener and beyond?
Well, I guess it'd be more information gathering as much as anything. Sometimes some guys are, I guess in this day and age, everybody at some point's been in one of those situations somewhere along the line where they've had an alternate or another guy plays or different skill sets been playing. I remember when we tried to do that years ago with Mike Teal. I don't think he was a big fan of it. I think he thought he got out of rhythm at times where it's like this guy goes in and first down, second down, it's 3rd and 10, and you go, hey, let's go get the first down here, and he's like, all right, thanks. So it all depends on how. I think guys now are a little more just used to it, the way football is. It's all different. Guys are in and out of games, and people try to tailor everything to different skill sets and systems, and so. But we'll see. I mean, I think we have a good idea of what we're going to do. I think it's going to be pretty smooth, and hopefully it goes well, obviously. But I think it'll be a pretty smooth operation when we get out there on Friday.
Coach, I know Chris is the head coach, but how much input was it like a shared decision, a common decision to work in this way for game one? How did that go?
Yeah, it's pretty collaborative. I mean, in the end, the head coach obviously could decide whatever he wants to do, but I don't. Chris is really obviously a very smart guy, but he listens a lot and relies a lot on what everybody thinks, what the staff thinks, and we have a lot of guys that have a lot of really good experience. And whether it's quarterback battles or position battles or scheme change, whatever it is, we've been really a collaborative effort, I think, this whole off season on a lot of different things. I'm looking at strengths and weaknesses on, staff, on, and ultimately who plays at each position, and obviously quarterback's the big one. So it's been, we didn't want to make it like the daily report, since March, every day, this guy's up, this guy's down, this guy's, I think we kind of were very patient with it. Obviously McLean just got introduced to the whole process really this summer, and, didn't do a whole lot in that kind of summer session, so it was really camp. But I think we didn't act really impulsively. Obviously, you could say dragged out, but really rep-wise and experience-wise and for what they got to do each day. I don't think anyone was handicapped by the way it kind of went back and forth. I could see how they really pushed each other every day, and I think we kind of just, I think it cleared up as the couple weeks went on. I think if we had jumped to a conclusion after 3 or 4 days, then it tilts your thought process down the line because we've already picked this guy, and now I think we just let it kind of play out. We started to alternate 1s and 2s a little bit, and then I think as we went through the couple weeks, everything really cleared up for everybody. And ultimately it's a hard thing to do if you're saying, hey, we're going to pick a guy. It's a hard deal on the guy who doesn't get picked. So we're obviously very, sensitive to or aware of that's a big deal. It's a big deal for the guy who you say is your guy. It's a big deal for the guy if you say, hey, hang in there and you got to keep working and we might need you. We're very conscious of that as well because in the end they're all our players, and we have to make sure we do right as best we can by them and the team.
Was it a gradual thing coming to that conclusion though?
Well, I think we just were
patient.
patient.
Stepped up in the room and said, hey, what do we need to do this?
I think we were just really patient with it, and like I said, I don't think it hampered anybody's development, whether ones, twos, or whatever. We were mixing and matching a lot of guys, a lot of receivers. The backs were with both groups. It really didn't. I don't think it. Nobody missed reps or got more reps or whoever it might be. And I think by doing that and just not, one day it's this guy, next day it's that guy. You pick a guy in a week, and a week later the other guy goes down. And then you go, no, we really thought it was you anyway. So just, so that I think by being patient, I think it cleared it up for everybody. And, we'll see what the results are. Hopefully it was the right way to go.
Coach, you said, in the beginning of camp you were just getting used to seeing McLean. What areas did you see him really progress on over the last few weeks?
Well, we asked him to do a lot of things that he just pre-snap that he never had to do in terms of IDing, people at the line of scrimmage, in terms of, checks and just running the operation from calling play in the huddle. That's all things that were kind of, foreign to him. He's been exposed to a lot of different systems at different places. I mean, he never did it, but it wasn't his total comfort zone. But overall, it's still the concepts and the football part of it, the blitzes and so forth. The one thing that was for sure is he had a really high football IQ, and he could handle a lot of different concepts and things we threw at him. I think we had a kind of a progression of what what his comfort zone was. I think we added some things that he liked, for when he was in there. If he wanted to run, certain concepts that we kind of had, maybe didn't emphasize, and just said, hey, let's start doing this. So it was a little bit collaborative with him too, and as it was with Art, in terms of what did he really like from last year. I think we had a little bit more body of work and time to work in what Art's wheelhouse was. But really quickly, he wasn't. I think he's pretty comfortable with just about everything, but he was pretty open with, hey, how about this type of thing? Can we do this? Can we go a little faster with this? Can we just sing? I mean, he's a big football guy. His brother, had a college career, played in the NFL. He's coaching for the Eagles now. I mean, he's a football junkie from Texas, so he's got a lot of IQ and savvy in terms of playing the game. So that made it easy, but it still was a lot to learn for him. And I give him a lot of credit for being able to kind of operate like he has. I'm sure there's going to be, however it goes, if he's in there, if Art's in there, there's going to be bumps in the road either way. With the operation, but he was impressive in terms of how he was able to kind of pick things up and go in and play like he's been here for a while.
John, how tough during training camp is it to get an accurate read of the competition when the quarterback's not going to get hit, or they know they're not going to get hit? Does that factor in while you're evaluating? Yeah,
I think it has to. I mean, obviously we know Art can take hits. I mean, we saw that last year. Hopefully we're not going to witness that again. But he he had to rely on a little bit of pocket movement with McLean. I think sometimes we had to tell him, hey, let's not move so much. Like, let's kind of step up, or don't go, you can't go too far, because these ends that we're going to be dealing with in these games are a different story, than maybe you've seen even before in the other league. So, yeah, I think you have to keep aware of that. We try to be kind of, our guys do a good job of pulling off. Obviously it's a big emphasis. You don't want to hit the quarterback or get a hand or anything like that. And but I think we kind of realistically sit in there and go, okay, you didn't get this off. I mean, we hit this, but I mean, and Chris does a good job with kind of controlling when he calls sack and when he don't, and really, early in camp there was a lot of issues. We had some guys coming free, and then I think that as the protection progressed and the line progressed, and we were able to see real movements in the pocket for both guys and how would they have gotten it out or not, or did they feel the pressure or not. So yeah, we're very conscious. I know they're pretty good with it too, where they say, I want to get that out, I got to, so, but, because that's obviously a big factor now. In the end, both guys are playing games, so you have at least, it's not going to be the first time they ever go out there in a college game and get hit by somebody. They understand what that's all about. So as opposed to last year with Art out there, he'd never been in a college game, and the speed of the game and getting hit by guys that maybe unnecessarily at times, those things added up, I think, as the season went on.
Final question?
John, whether he's the guy or not, Art's been beat up a lot dating back to last year. Public, media and everything, fans. What have you seen that makes you, I guess, more comfortable to put him on the field this year? How has he kind of progressed? We haven't really seen a whole lot of practice. Where has he made those strides?
Well, we had a checklist. There's like 14 things after the season. Some of them from, calling them, playing the huddle better, operating at the line of scrimmage better, IDing things better, to moving in the pocket, to accuracy on certain things and timing. So there's a whole list of things. He still has it on the front of his notebook and kind of goes through it. And after the spring, I kind of highlighted there's probably 9 or 10 of them that he had really made great strides on, and there were 3 or 4 that he needed to continue to work on. So he locked into those through the summer. And then we got into camp, you could see improvement on those things. So try to be as specific as possible because, you know, the character and the work ethic of the guy, I don't think anyone's ever questioned, you know. And you're right, he has taken a lot of hits, you know, social media, whatever it is, the outlets are, campus, which we talked about all last year. I mean, it's part of having that job and the team's not winning. But in terms of, as you guys know, I mean, the guy, you can't ask for anything better from a leader or a worker. And if you tell him to jump through the wall, he's jumped through the wall. It doesn't. So I think he took that checklist, and I thought he made improvements on everything, really A to Z, that he was asked to improve on. And really, in the end, there's nothing more you can really ask him to do, you know. And then in terms of where that put him in terms of this competition, that I think it definitely. It helped him. He's a better quarterback. There isn't any question about it. And then, you know, we'll just see how it goes as we go through the season.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks, guys. See you.